Hello everyone and welcome along to round 8 of the ILR1 on Xbox League, and it is coming up towards the end of this incredibly tight season. We are here live from the incredible Suzuka circuit, having just had an absolute belter of a race last week in Belgium, and as always joining me on this incredible venture throughout the season is James. James, it was a superb race last week, wasn't it? It had absolutely everything, and I'm sure today we're going to have more of the same, aren't we?
I really do hope so. I mean, Belgium has gone down in my mind as possibly the greatest race I've ever seen in league racing. The changeable conditions, for it wide open. You thought that the German Grand Prix was good. You only had to skip a couple of days, and before that, what a incredible race, full of drama from the start to the finish. Absolutely unbelievable. It's why we league race, it's why we do what we do. Everybody loved it as well in the stream, I'm pretty sure. And Japan were at one of another jewels of the season. It could be closer at the top, admittedly, but we have still got a fair way to go to decide who's going to be champion of this league this season.
Yep, well, 5 drivers within 33 points. One of them, though, unfortunately has pulled out of that championship tussle, but we will still run through the championship standings as they are right now. TRL Martin is on top. He has been on the podium in every race but one this season that he has competed in, and that was back in Bahrain when he was leading on the final lap and he ended up with a puncture. He has got 112 points on the board. He has a healthy 27-point lead over OMG. It's Joe in second, who we believe is having issues with his wheel, so not ideal preparation for him. So he's 27 points off the lead with 85 points. Then joint behind on 84 is the now departed CRL Rosberg and TOR Leopard on 84. Then in fifth, it's Danny M7 with 79 points, 33 off the lead. So that is your top 5. 4 of them in the title hunt. Rosberg, as I've mentioned, has pulled out. Then Danny's teammate, Mike Marshmallow, is 6th in the standings with 41 points. Then it's AVR Morsel in 7th. Drawmaster, who's also had to leave due to work commitments, is 8th in the standings. TR Apex is 9th, and Hayden is 10th. And he last weekend got his best result of the season with brilliant 6th place, didn't he, James? And at one point it looked like he was going to win that race in all the drama, wasn't he?
Absolutely was. Just about to say, he could have won that race. That's how crazy Belgium was. I do urge you, if you're watching this as well, after this race, watch that race, because it was just incredible. You don't need a backdrop, because we know what happened. Reynolds has gone across the line fast of all with a 28.2. But yeah, real shame to see Rosberg not wanting to take part. He was probably the man that would have turned on the start, I think, towards the end of this season. Really would have gone for it. Now we've got to rely on the likes of Joe, Danny and Leopard, who've all looked very strong. A stat that came out that I've just spotted, everyone in the top 4 of the championship have had at least 3 podiums this season. Absolutely incredible. So hope with any luck, one of these guys will get another one today, and we really do want to see a fight that will go to the very wire in this league. Yeah,
well, it might go to the wire. It might even end today. That is the truth of it all. If TRL Martin can win this Grand Prix and get the 25 points, that will force TOR Leopard and OMG It's Joe to finish at least 8th place. They must finish 8th to stay in the title hunt if Martin wins. And Danny M7, he must finish P5 in this Grand Prix. And if he doesn't do that, if Martin wins, he is also mathematically out of the title hunt. So Martin, it's unlikely that he will clinch it today. First he has to win, and then second of all, he has to hope that his 3 title contenders are all 5th or lower, sorry, 6th or lower in this Grand Prix, with Leopard and Joe all the way down in 8th. That's what he'll require. So it's very unlikely it will end today, but it's certainly the possibility is there, and as commentators it's our duty to inform you that. So we're reaching towards the halfway point in the session. It is, of course, your championship leader TRL Martin that is on top with a 128.001. TOR Leopard is second, 1/10 back on a 128.1. Then it's AVR Reynolds in third with a 28.2. Danny is fourth with a 28.3. TR Apex also on a 28.3 in third. Then a little gap back to Dutchman in sixth with a 28.7. OMG It's Joe is next, King is next, then Langman, then Mike, as Leopard really seriously lowers the bar with a 127.7. That was a good lap, wasn't it, James?
That was absolutely incredible. They're the kind of laps that you need to put in if you want to put a statement of intent in. Martin, though, is coming around the final couple of corners. He wants to end that straight. He doesn't want to have another poor qualifying, and a poor qualifying by his standards is not on the front row. He's going to pit this lap and probably come in to change his tyres, get a new set on, and see what he can do on his second run. Just like to point out, though, this was a big hindrance of last week, wasn't it, of course, in Belgium. Martin not qualifying in the top 10, nor Rosberg, nor Danny. None of them qualified in the top 10. They all look like they will this time round. What a lap from Gorsh goes into P6. But really, what I said to Danny as well before the race started was he needs to nail the qualifying. And he said that to me as well. The big hindrance he has is getting a qualifying lap all together, and he needs it right now. These are the big moments of the season where you do need to pull it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Cyril Hamilton interestingly has come into the pits there as Xavier Morso moves up into 5th place with a 1:28.356. We have to discuss Cyril Hamilton. He is a man that is a little bit underestimated at times. He has got raw speed, no doubt about that. One of the quickest, if not the quickest, you could argue, on pace over one lap. Some may disagree with that, on pace. They say in practice he always has this incredible pace, but he never seems to bring it to the table when it matters. So what do you think of him, James? Is he going to be a man in the future, perhaps next season, that can really show what he's capable of? Because it seems like every race comes by and he makes an error, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You nailed it, put a nail in the coffin there, pretty much. It's exactly like that. He needs to just find that just finishing touch. Just needs that, like in football you always need a good first touch. He just needs that. He needs that just zest that's going to really set him free. And the man could have won at least 3 races this season. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. He could quite easily have won 3 races. Canada pretty much looked like his kind of race. He could have finished on the podium at least that race. Qualifying, though, he does come out with these bold claims in the chats. Now, I don't know how much of it is necessarily true. I'm not saying he's wrong, but he needs to show it, and he needs to show it now, because it'll be a great time to see someone else throwing a name in the mix. He won't win the championship, but he just throwing that name in there, just throwing that spanner in the works for these top guys, is really going to throw them off course, and they can't afford to have these little slip-ups by people like Hamilton, who could quite easily come in there, just wreck it all for them. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do over these next 2 races.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 races, technically.
As you say, a spanner in the works. That's the perfect way of putting it. Cyril Hamilton is capable of lapping and racing at that speed, but as you can see, his first lap invalidated, I presume, and he's not got a time on the board, and that only puts more pressure on him to try and deliver that lap. We've got Tyrrell Martin on an out lap, EVR Reynolds, Danny, M7, and several others in the lower reaches of the top 10 and on the outskirts starting their out laps at the moment. For me, we've got around 3 minutes to go in the session. Everyone, it would seem, has opted for the super soft tyre here this weekend. I believe it's soft and medium as well. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but I think it is. I've not done many Suzuka races, soft and medium, so
right.
We'll keep an eye on what strategy they do. Is it going to be a one-stop race to mediums, a one-stop race to softs? James, do you have any idea? Have you done many commentaries?
Yes, I did. Had to do last week in ILR, if you're interested. Basically, yeah, it was a one-stop race. The pit stop window is around lap 9 to a lap 11 or 12. You'll come in from the super soft if bolt on a set of softs. I feel like the best you can do, though, with the mediums is try that undercut. Come in a little bit earlier than most people, maybe like a lap 8 to a lap 10. Come in, try and get the undercut. It can be quite prominent around here, so with any luck, these guys could actually throw, again, a spanner in the works for some guys who may be in the lower reaches of the top 10. They could find themselves in some very good positions come that kind of position in this race, so keep an eye out for that. The mediums and the softs just vary on when you're going to come into the pits, really.
Okay, well that really does make things even more exciting, that extra strategy edge to it. As Tyrrell Martin, that car looked like it was on rails through the first sector, really throwing it around confidently. He did say in his post-race interview last weekend that he was not really a fan of this circuit. It didn't suit the pad. I mean, a lot of drivers race on the wheel at this level, and Tyrrell Martin is one. They did actually purchase a wheel a few weeks ago, but on this game he is remaining firm with the pad, and then he will make that change, he says. Well, he says, I mean, changing from a pad to a wheel is like trying to quit smoking, it has to be said. So here goes Tyrrell Martin. Will he ever do it? But he's on the pad at the moment, and he's heading down towards the famous 1:30R. So many iconic moments down the years through here. Remember Alonso passing around the outside of Michael Schumacher? High speed, braking hard for this tight final chicane. He heads through there now and then round the final corner, easing past that big wheel. Is TRL Martin going to put the car on pole? The shortest run to the line, and he only just misses out by less than half a tenth of a second. So close. Leopard yet to run, but he's not out there at the moment. What about Reynolds? He is on one at the moment. He's actually, is he short shifting? Is he short shifting? Yes, he is. So here goes Danny for the line. Danny M7, third quickest, 1:28 flat. So he moves up now into third position. 3 title rivals in 1, 2 and 3. We await Joe delivering a time, and he said he had wheel issues, and the point is being proven here. He's down in 9th at the moment as we now watch Reynolds hit the line. It's not a representative time, so Reynolds is 4th at the moment, but Martin unable to improve. There will be no pole position. He has quit the session, James.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be back-to-back poles for Leopard at the moment. Joe is in still within touching distance. P9, he's not an awful long way away. Can still make up time. Hamilton's the other man to watch out for. He's not too far. I don't know where he is on track. I'm keeping an eye on Joe because he's coming around the final corner now. Can that Red Bull throw a spanner in the works for Martin and put it on the front row? No, he can't. He's only got P8. Where is Hamilton at the moment? He's coming through the first sector. You want to keep an eye on that because he will be one of the last to take the finish line.
Yep, absolutely. Almost confirming the problems there for Joe. Agony for him. Wheel issues right before the start of the race here in Suzuka. A bit like Sebastian Vettel right before the start of his race in Suzuka last year. It didn't go well. Leopard on provisional pole, and he's going again then as he runs down towards 130R. Over 195 miles an hour on the entrance through there. 8th gear, flat out. Here goes the Renault singing its heart out into the braking zone for that tight chicane. A slight lock-up. Here goes Leopard. Can he flex his muscles and extend his advantage? Danny goes quickest, 1:27.6 for how long? Not very long. Leopard snatches it, 1:27.4. Morso now goes 4th. Incredible scenes at the end of qualifying. Wow, Danny snatched it for a moment. He thought he'd nailed the lap, but Leopard came round and thrashed it. 1:27.4 from him. Reynolds has gone 3rd on a 27.6. Hamilton now goes 4th on a 27.7. Martin is down in 5th. And I'm watching Joe. Can he find any more time? Or is his struggles going to continue? Ghosh has gone up into 6th with a 27.9. Here comes Joe. He's only 10th at the moment. He's 1.1 seconds away from pole at the moment. Here goes Joe round the final corner. Are those wheel issues continuing? It seems they are. And where has he gone with that? He was 11th and he stays 11th. So Joe has an absolute nightmare of a session. He predicted it going into the session, and it's proved to be the case. Only 11 for the Red Bull driver, and it could be the end, perhaps, of his title hopes. But thankfully for him, Martin is only 5th, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take you through the grid whilst we've still got time. Leopard is on pole position. Back-to-back poles. That's something we haven't heard of. Danny will start alongside him on the front row. His best qualifying belief since Australia. Reynolds starts from 3rd, Hamilton 4th, Martin and Gauche round out row 3. What an effort from Gauche. P6. He was the back, well, to be fair, he was playing second fiddle to his teammate. This whole season he's been behind him. And finally he's pulled it out the bag there with a P6 lap. What an effort from the Red Bull. And really, he could be one of them guys. He does like to get involved in these championship battles when he's not involved in, well, supposed to be involved in them, but I'm sure he'll get his feet in there as well. I don't like Mike was going to go really well in that qualifying session. Indeed he did. But here's another spanner in the works, Andy. A bit of rain to throw up in the air.
Well, I know there's been a bit of an issue with weather in England of late, especially with a bit of a drought and a heat wave, but it appears it's been raining today in England. Everyone's been talking about it. Well, I think they've dragged it all the way to Japan as well. Damp conditions throw the tyre strategies clean out of the window, and we are going to have a thrilling race yet again. We saw last week in Belgium what the damp conditions can do to a race, and boy oh boy, have we got them again, and this is going to be another thrilling Grand Prix at one of the classic circuits, one of the jewels in the crown, as you mentioned earlier, James, at Suzuka in the damp conditions. It doesn't get better than this. As you said, Gauche, he's got to be the star of qualifying. What an effort. But Leopard Can he make it back-to-back wins? He's already made it back-to-back poles. The lights are on, and we are racing in Suzuka. 2 rounds to go in the championship. Leopard with a really slow start. Danny already pulling alongside him on the run down to turn 1. Danny with a huge slide, and Leopard gets a second life line as they go through the first corner. There's a Toro Rosso off through the gravel trap. That's AVR Morso, but it's Danny in the lead. Leopard second, the rubbing wheels through there, and is Danny going to hold on? Leopard still there, but Danny seems to have got the job done. And look at Martin steaming round the outside of Leopard, now the inside as they go up the hill. And has he made it stick? Yes, he has. What a sensational start to the race. We've only been going a few corners, and the racing is already sensational. Wow.
Reynolds and Gorsh side by side through the Degners, and Gorsh has won through that battle as well. There's a car off in the background, it's King. Another Mercedes has gone off the road as well. That's Dutchman who's gone off. Complete and utter mess at the start. And Hamilton smashes the back of Danny as they come into the hairpin. But it's all kept cleanly and together. Martin's in P4, he's made up positions off the line. I'm not sure it's all gone wrong. I think it's Morso who's lost out at the start. Watch Hamilton, he's going to be all over the back of that Force India as they come into Spoon.
I've made a complete mess of that. I said that was Martin. Well, I'm an idiot. There you go, it's CRL Hamilton.
Oh!
It's battling with Danny and
wing.
front wing damage there for CRL Hamilton. So Leopard now in third position will be living the side of that. Front wing flying off CRL Hamilton's car. He's going really aggressive early doors, isn't he? In second place. And as he goes sweeping through 130R and down towards the final chicane, it's still Danny in control from Hamilton, Leopard and Martin.
Oh, sorry, I thought I saw a massive crash. I could be completely wrong. I do apologise. I've seen all sorts of action going on here. Watch Hamilton towards the first corner. He's going to be so close to Danny on the way in. I'm not sure he's going to get the move done into turn 1. He's going to be close. Not close enough. Surely not. No, he's not close enough. He's going to try and stick it around the outside into 2. Not close, and still can't find that way through. The Mercedes is just barrelling his way through. So aggressive on the brakes and just can't get past the Force India.
Well, incredible stuff. Lap 2 out of 27 is already breathless. Danny from Hamilton. Was there a little bit of lag at the start of the race? I think Hamilton's car on my screen on the timing ladder was nowhere near the top of the leaderboard. Then it popped up to the top. I think that's what caused my confusion at the start. I was wondering what was going on, but it is Danny leading Hamilton, Leopard and Martin. Then we've got a yellow flag. That must be Ants Mats off the road, and it is. Down in 16th place, it's 2 McLarens at the back, and Ants Mats drops right to the tail of the group, and he's now damaged his front wing and crashed out of the Grand Prix big time into the wall. Ants Mats, game over for him. His race is run as everyone remains on the intermediate tab, but Martin looking very close to the back of TOR Leopard as he goes down towards the spoon curve.
Yeah, he's getting really close, isn't he? Just can't find a way through at the moment. Leopard's doing a great job to defend. He's in a really precarious position, Leopard, because he's in between Hamilton and Martin. That's not a position you want to be. Mike has just made a move on Gorsh. There's side-by-side action further down the field. We're on the Toro Rosso's side-by-side with Gorsh as well. And he's lost another position on the straight. Will he try and get the move back into 130R? He's not going to be close enough. Joe's far behind as well. He needs to get a move on this race if he's got any chance of winning the championship at some point. Joe's down the inside. He's got the move done. And I think he's through up into P7. He needs to get a move on and see how high up he can progress in the field. It's still Danny from Hamilton, the top 2.
Langman coming into the pits there, one of the Williams diving in. I'm not sure why. Is there a change of tyres? I wouldn't have thought so. As Reynolds gets racing with Gorsh, the 2 Williams is very close, and the 2 Red Bulls are very close there for a moment as Reynolds dives through on the inside of Gorsh. So Gorsh, who was up as high as 5th, has now dropped right down into 9th place as Reynolds displaces him. Incredible battle going on for 5th between Mike Marshmallow and TR Apex. That's allowing Joe to close onto the group and try and limit the damage for his race so far as Mike is in 5th. It's Apex 6th and Joe in 7th. Meanwhile, further up the road, the battle is raging between the top 4. They're all in your shot, as you can see. Danny, Hamilton, Leopard, Martin, as we got a move there. Apex, Mike Marshmallow dropping back to 7th as Apex and Joe go through. And is that going to now make problems for Mike Marshmallow even more? Because here comes Reynolds up the inside, touching wheels through the hairpin, and Mike loses 3 places in 2 corners, and his race is unravelling here in Suzuka. Not enjoying the damp conditions. I don't know what happened. Did you see it, James? Was there an error?
I don't think I did, but I mean, if he's lost a position going into the second Degner, he's surely been pushed off the road somewhere, because there's no way that you can make a move into the Degner. There's absolutely no way. Martin, though, if you want to keep an eye on that, he's so close to the back of left. It's just seriously probably the closest it's been. If he can get a good run coming out of the final chicane, he's in business. Same with Hamilton. He's pushing Danny around the final chicane. It could be a mess into turn one. Let's see how it all unfolds.
Oh, incredible, the top four come across the start-finish line. This just sums up ILR1 all season long. It's Danny from Hamilton, from Leopard, then Martin. Is Martin lining up a move into turn one? None of them making any moves at the moment, as it all remains as you were. It is difficult to overtake on this circuit in the damp conditions. These drivers haven't made it look that way so far, but with no DRS it does seem to be a little bit more tricky for the drivers to find a way through, but can they do it? We'll have to wait and see. The top four have totally marched off into the distance from TR Apex in fifth, who is fighting with Joe and Reynolds, and Reynolds is actually closed right onto the tail.
Oh, Hamilton's gone off!
Oh, has
he nearly went off. He's going to allow Leopard to close right in. He got it all wrong coming into there. Through the Degners they go. Can Leopard get him on the inside? He's not close enough. Martin's going to get a good run coming out the second Degner. Can he get him towards the hairpin? He's going to be so close between these two once again. He's not fond for his late braking moves, Martin. He may have to make one now. He just can't quite get the run. He's going to have to short shift his way past Leopard. They're still so close as they head towards Spoon Curve. This is a corner which you just feel like you always get wrong because there's so much understeer on the front end of the car, and he can't get a move done there. But big mistake by Hamilton. That front wing damage is really costing him in that first sector.
Yeah, Cyril Hamilton, of course, with that wing damage, clipping Danny earlier on at the start of the Grand Prix on the opening lap. Really starting to bite back at him now, but he's done well to stick with Danny for so long, but that gap has now sprung out to 1.6 seconds, so Leopard and Martin will know if they want to make any serious inroads in this race to try and win it, they're going to have to clear Hamilton soon. And remember, Martin will want to do that because he doesn't want to take this championship all the way to the end. Remember, he can do it today, unlikely that he will, but if he can finish well today, he's got a good chance of making the job easier in the next round of the championship. But as it is at the moment, it's not going his way. This gap is going to come down in the World Championship. Danny in the lead. Hamilton, as you mentioned, James, in qualifying, is being a spanner in the works. He's basically the cork in the champagne bottle at the moment, as Reynolds and Joe are also battling really close for 6th and 7th. And is Reynolds going to have a look up the inside? Oh, he's going to have a little look. There's no way through as they go through the S's, and it remains Joe 6th, Reynolds 7th. But we need to go back to Martin, Hamilton and Leopard because that is incredibly close. And yeah, on you go, sorry.
Yeah, he's really losing it in the first second, there's no doubt about it. I thought he'd lose a lot more with being in the dirty wake of Danny, but he couldn't deal with it on that particular lap. I don't know what the problem was, but Martin then, his side's going to move on Leopard. Leopard goes defensive once again. He knows that attack is coming from the Sauber, and he needs to be wise to it. These two are championship rivals. These two come together, huge controversy will spring open. These two retire and Danny wins. 2-point gap in the championship. It's so close if this happens. We don't, of course, want to wish for that, but I mean, we like a bit of drama. Hamilton runs wide again through Spoon Curve. You've got to watch Leopard once again. He needs a good run this time, Leopard, on the back of Hamilton. Trouble is, with that less amount of front wing, it's just ultimately causing less drag on that car, and ultimately he's going to be a little bit faster in a straight line, although it's not, I don't know whether the game works like that, but of course in real life he'd be quite fast in a straight line because he's got less weight on the car. Probably not the way it works on this game, but we'll roll with it. Hamilton is still managing to hold on. I can't believe that Leopard just hasn't put one up the inside, just forced him.
Sorry to come across you there. Reynolds was way off the road. I've just cut to him there. Him and Joe must have been in seriously close proximity, and in the end Reynolds got a was it a 5 or 10 second stop go penalty? I think he might have, because he came into the he was way off the track going through 130R, and he's retired from the section in the pit lane, and that will not please a few people within ILR, the stewards, to see drivers retiring for that. But he's come in fact he needed a new front wing as well. By the way, his teammate Langman, the reason he came into the pits a few laps ago was for a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Thanks to Jake for informing us. There was so much happening at the start, we totally missed that one. So that is what happened there. So Reynolds out, running very wide, way off the circuit, racing with Joe. I don't know what happened, but he's out, and Ants Mats, as we saw, crashing up the hill at Dunlop, out of the Grand Prix as well. But back to that battle, as you were mentioning, James, it's Hamilton, Leopard from Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. Hamilton running deep once again through the hairpin. He's actually just making a train now for these guys. And you want to watch the gap with Apex behind. He could really close in on this. He's in a bit of he's in masses of free air. He's just got a real chance to just put his foot down now, Apex. It's big for him and Toro Rosso in this Constructors' Championship because it is so close. Top 6, I'm pretty sure, are filled by 38 points. That is ridiculously close. Top 2, 6 points. It could not be closer in the Constructors' Championship. These guys, of course, let's be real, don't really care about the Constructors' Championship, but it's always something to throw in there if you always want to. Through 130R they go again. Looks like the rain is starting to fade away a little bit. It's not as intense as what it was at the start of the Grand Prix. Hamilton, once again, just isn't good enough through the corners. That front wing damage is costing this man dear in this race. 2.6 seconds the gap between him and Danny.
Yeah, incredible how big that gap's beginning to climb now. Not surprising though at all. And Leopard and Martin we're just proving the point. Without the DRS, even with the damaged front wing for Hamilton, it is very, very tricky to find a way through. I mean, what would you say, James? The best place to make a move around here? You can make one at the hairpin, perhaps the other one into that tight chicane?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, the tight chicane definitely seems to be one. You can't really get a good enough run coming out the final corner in the wet to really maximise your run into turn 1. We'd love to see a move there, of course we would. Hairpin is definitely the place to do it. Trouble is, Leopard can't do it because he's in such a precarious position because Martin's behind. However, Leopard has got to get this move done soon or he's just not going to win this race. It's as simple as that. And actually coming through Degner 2, once again looks like he's got a pretty good run on Hamilton. And once again Hamilton defends, and because of that, Leopard nearly defends. He's got the attack and he's got to be wary of Martin behind, who's always going to be on the attack. This is the problem he's having. It's just a concertina effect as they come into the hairpin. It's an absolute mess down there, but yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to get this move done. He could try and get a good run through Spoon.
Yeah, he could try that, but I do agree with what you're saying. If he positions his car, he gets hung out to dry by Hamilton, Martin's going to steal the place. But at the same time, Leopard's the man that needs to take the risks. If Martin's 4th, Leopard has to try and win the race. That has got to be his mindset. So where does he try it? Where does he go for it? He has still got 20 laps. He doesn't need to rush it. But Danny is now 2.8 seconds up the road, scampering off. Not scampering off as quickly as I thought he might, but certainly beginning to disappear. Hamilton, again, through that final chicane, easily holding on down the start-finish straight. Leopard just cannot get the traction coming out of there, and it remains in a stalemate with Hamilton 2nd, Leopard 3rd, and Martin 4th. Across the line to start lap 8 out of 28, we've got TR Dutchman dropping down to 10th. Has he just lost 2 places? It seems he has. King and Gosh have gone through as Dutchman gets a huge kick of oversteer as he comes round the final corner. He's actually going to go side by side down the start-finish straight, almost with Gosh. And Kay sniffing around in the background as well. Dutchman having a look up the inside. Gosh is a little bit wide. He's very, very wide, and Dutchman is back through into 9th place. And now Kay's going to slither past as well. And Gosh now drops outside the point.
Oh, goodness me! Jesus Christ, sorry about that, but Leopard just pulled off one of the saves of the season. Oh my God, Hamilton nearly binned it coming through a corner. He was full opposite lock, and then so was Leopard. Oh my goodness me, I do apologise. Leopard going really aggressive on the brakes again. Not going to get the move done there once again, but that battle is really going to hot up now. These guys are going to be getting really hot under the collar. They're all from the UK, they all feel the heat, and they all feel that they need to get a chance in this championship.
Yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. I'm loving this. It's not easy to make a move, but at least they're getting a sniff at it going into that hairpin. And Leopard's just got to second guess what Hamilton's doing. Martin's trying to second guess what Leopard's doing. Leopard's he's close enough to have a look and get Hamilton worried, but it's no more than that. But it makes great viewing. You're on the edge of your seat watching it. But Danny now stretches above 3 seconds. He's slowly pulling a gap as the track continues to dry. Still no sign of the teams getting ready with any sets of dry weather tyres. I don't think they will be getting used. If they had to come in within the next 2 or 3 laps, James, would it be softs or would it be mediums?
Yeah, it's a good call. I'm not sure because these intermediates are also, they won't go to the end on intermediates. There's no way. They will have to pit for that. That's another precarious factor they've got to throw into the mix. Tyre on these won't be that bad. I don't know though, it would be the next couple of laps if they were going to go out on the softs, but at the moment the rain does still to keep going. Yeah.
We've got a great battle between Kay and Dutchman and Kay battling down the start-finish straight. In the background you've got Morso and Gauch as well running down to turn 1.
Oh, Martin!
Here comes Kay.
Yeah, Carol.
Dutchman, he's having a look. I'm going to go back to Martin in a moment actually, because Martin's very close, isn't he? It's just classic ILR. We just don't know where to look, folks. As Martin and Leopard do battle once again. So let's keep an eye on that for now. Martin against Leopard, because we want to see these guys battle into the hairpin. It looks like on this occasion, Leopard ain't close enough to Hamilton, and Martin.
Oh, he's lagged out!
Oh my goodness! Martin disconnects from the session! He's lagged out, and it's just going to swing the championship right round. It's going to turn the race, the season, upside down and all around. Martin disconnects from the session. Heartbreaking for him. It's just about as bad as retiring from the race. Can he get back in here as quickly as he can? His 27-point lead is under serious threat. The World Championship is dangling by a thread. Danny leads, Hamilton second, Leppin third, and Martin fourth. Make that fifth, and he's going to drop even further unless he gets back in here as quickly as possible. Martin in trouble. Would you believe it, James?
Absolutely. Now Leppard has really got to get his elbows out. Really needs to get this move done on Hamilton. If he can really maximise his chances in this championship, needs to do it now. This is absolutely massive in the championship race. Martin is back in the session with a thanks to me, but it doesn't matter about that because he's coming into the pits.
His car's coming in. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's not what he would have wanted. He's joined the session. And what tyre are they going to put on it? What tyre are they going to put on it? That's the question. Martin cannot control his car at the moment. He did not control or call for that pit stop.
Oh, soft, it's soft. What? They're paying for tries? Oh my, do a right. Well, you don't want to do a dry dance if you want to see Martin win this race. He's 12th in the field now. Unbelievable. Last. Oh no.
He's not in control of the car yet either. He's still not in control of it. He is now, I think. He is now. Let's have a look at him. We need to stay on board with Martin. Is the tyres ready? Has he got the grip? Oh, I don't think so. Oh, it's not far away.
Too early.
It's too early. It's not far away though. The last thing, he wouldn't have wanted that car coming into the pits there. He has to deal with it now. But there might still be a sniff of a point or two in this. I thought it might have been aquaplaning everywhere. It's not quite as bad as that, but it's still bad enough, and the rear end's gone. Martin out of the points, in real danger here of seeing his championship lead sliced to bits here. He will still lead to leaving this race, but it's not going to be straightforward. How must CRL Rosberg be kicking himself now, James?
Oh, wouldn't he just? If he was winning this race, he'd be winning the championship. This is absolutely incredible. It's stuff of dreams for the guys who were looking at it going, 27 points, I've got no chance in this championship. You damn well have now, because that has thrown it wide open. Any of these guys could still take the championship. Danny, though, is in the best position to do so. If the gap stays as it is, he'll be some 8 points behind Martin in the championship standings. Let's look at Leopard. He'll be 13 points behind Martin in the championship with 2 races to go. Oh my goodness me, it could be so close.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely incredible. Martin is going to try and do what he can to make the time up. He's actually catching Bastic at the moment on those softs, so it might be around time to do it now.
Oh.
So, what
he
will
nearly
happen?
bent it in the pit lane. He nearly dropped it coming into the final quarter, going into the pit lane. He's going to have to do everything he can do now. All them skills, all them seasons of AOR, he needs to put into practice. He's gone wide at turn 2. There's no grip out there for him on the AstroTurf.
Hamilton.
He's got no chance on those softs.
Hamilton's got a 3-second time penalty, and that only helps Leopard further, and it worsens Martin's fears even more. So Leopard gets another 3 points. So instead of 13 points, as you just, or 14 was it? Or 13 did you say? How many points
13,
did you say?
13,
it's
yeah,
now 10.
13.
So it gets even worse for him, for Martin. So his championship rivals coming back at him. Meanwhile, in all the chaos, there's a fantastic battle going on for 7th place between King, Dutchman, Kay, and pretty soon EVR more so as well. What a race, what a league, what a season. Absolutely incredible. King 7th. Oh, he's had a huge moment. They've both had a huge moment. Front wing damage there for King, and Dutchman was all over the place too. Kay's surely going to go up the inside on the Dutchman and take the place. King's off the road, Dutchman's off the road. Kay's on the inside, still trying to find some space to try and make that move. He goes past the Dutchman as if he's not even there. Now he's going to have a look at his teammate. We're nearly 3 wide, going down the back straight, and Kay dances through up in the 7th place. He goes flying past them. Now look at that. We've got side-by-side action between the Haas driver of WR King and TR Dutchman get into the chicane. Absolutely incredible racing. They're almost touching. Is King going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. They're all pouring in. In fact, Dutchman bails out at the last second because he sees his teammate come in. Absolutely ridiculous racing once again in ILR1 on Xbox.
Langman is side by side with Gorsh into turn 1. Surely not on the inside. There he goes. And he's got the move done. Gorsh having none of it around the outside. He's going to keep it all together, surely. No, not quite good enough for Gorsh Crab, but my goodness me, that was like Schumacher and Barrichello at Hungary. So close on the way into turn 1.
Wow, absolutely incredible. What a race. Martin is now up to 11th place, I'll have you guys know. So his recovery is beginning to take shape. So good news for him. As Langman's off the road, he's in the wall on the inters, and Gouch goes past him. Up into 9th place, Langman damages the wing in 10th. Why are these guys not pitting? The inters are absolutely finished. And all of a sudden, it's coming back to Martin. Look at him. He's in 11th place, and he's catching Langman and Gouch. Hand over fist. Langman having a look up the inside of Gouch into the hairpin, and they're touching again. Martin closing in as he slips and slides his way onto the tail of those drivers. This is insane. Gouch 9th, Langman 10th, and look at Leopard meanwhile. Oh, he's off the road. He and Hamilton are off the road in the final chicane. Surely they're coming in. Hamilton carries on. Leopard carries on. What is going on here? Why are they still going? Unbelievable. And we need to go to Martin.
Seriously?
How is he doing? He's going right onto the tail of Langman and Gouch. Unbelievable action going down towards 130R. Inters versus soft compound tires. Langman on the inside of Gouch through 130R. Gouch takes evasive action. Martin through the middle, up the inside, and takes the pair of them on the dries. If that's not a reason to come in for dries now, I don't know what is. Martin dances through, and now Martin pits. What? What is going on? What is going on? Everyone scampering into the pits. Martin in the pits again. Can you tell me why? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Joe's just come in and he's gone onto soft tyres. And see what Martin goes on to. He's gone onto another set of the supers. He's gone onto the super soft tyres. No, he's got nothing to lose now in this race. It's a bit big call because now he needs a big outlap to give him the best chance if he's even got one in this race now. Leopard is dropping a fair bit back off the back of Hamilton. But these guys, if you're Joe, that is a brilliant call, I think, to come in for the soft tyres now and just try and go to the end, although he's looking really slightly on the rear. May not be the best idea, but let's see what these top few cars do. What an incredible race this is.
Every single week we have this. Every single week. If you don't tune in every week, you need to start tuning in every week, because this is just box office stuff. Kay in 12 is on the tail of Gouch, so he's dropping back off the tail of him now. But I can't understand why these guys are still going around on inters. I also can't understand why Martin came in again. Did he feel he wasn't going to get to the end? Perhaps he did. Leopard then, is he coming in this
Hamilton's lagged out. Hamilton's lagged out. Oh, goodness me, and he's pit. And none of the top two have pit out. Leopard and Danny haven't stopped. Hamilton's in. Apex is on the podium at the moment. Could be his first of the season, I believe. What a sensational Grand Prix this is turning into. He's being held in the stop as well, Hamilton, and that's because of his front wing. And Mike has stayed out as well. He's staying out on those inters. Doesn't look dry enough for dry tyres yet. I don't know. Although, having said that, the DRS has now been enabled. So these guys really do need to question what tyres they are on, because this is a big call, whoever comes in now.
You know what I think? James? I think it's not dry enough for dry tyres, but you are quicker on dry tyres than Warren inters, as we've seen from Martin. If they were fresh inters, yeah, they'd probably be quicker by a few seconds over the last few laps, from around lap 11 onwards. But it's not the case, because the inters are destroyed. They've absolutely destroyed them. So I cannot understand for the life of me how they're still out there. They obviously don't realise how much slower they are, those top 5 cars, because look at Joe, he's on the tail of Hamilton, who's disconnected, but they're all going quicker, and Martin's going to gain a few places back from all this pretty soon, I would think. He's up in 8th place now.
Joe could be on the podium at this, right? That's how unbelievable this has been. The man was stone dead, really he had no hope in this race. Keep an eye on King though, because he's actually keeping tabs with Danny, and interesting that King is on them soft tyres, and Danny is still on the inters. Now he needs to come in this lap, and if he does make the call, it's decisive what tyres he goes on. He needs to play it safe, I think. I would pick the softs, if I'm going to be honest, and he does come in, and he's going to surely go onto the soft tyres. Leopard will also surely follow him in. He has done. Apex, will he follow him in as well? He will as well. Mike, they won't double stack the Force Indies. but this could be a big haul of points for the Pink Panthers this Grand Prix, and exactly what they needed for that Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, if you remember the championship, Constructors' Championship, 50 points separate the 6 teams. 6 teams, 50 points. You can earn a maximum of 48 points in one race. That's how tight that is, with 2 rounds to go, well, 3 rounds to go, including this one. But did you see the state of the intermediate tyres coming off of those cars that came into the pits? They were absolutely destroyed. They were basically slicks. Absolutely incredible how they were still going on those. But they're now out there on the soft compound tyre. Pardon me, the most of the field has gone for that, but it is now a mare with Danny in the lead, Leopard second, Apex third, Joe fourth, Mike in fifth, and it has Martin up to sixth now, and he's going side by side actually with Dutchman into turn 1. Dutchman coming back, then locking up, then bundling through the gravel trap and rejoining in 7th place, and lucky to live another day. But Martin all of a sudden right back in it, right back in the championship. And I think this is a big sigh of relief, because it didn't look likely, did it?
No, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. It looked so out of the picture. It looked like he wasn't going to finish at one point in this Grand Prix. That's scarcely believable how much he's just come back from that, from the absolute depths of despair, because that's what it was. And he's come back and he's fighting, and I love that. I love that grit, just not giving in. And he will not give this championship up. He's 6th at the moment. Let's see how much he can close up. So Mike Marshmallow, who's currently P5 and having a great race by his account. Apex is still in 3rd. It's all very much, just concertina again. Danny is 4.7 seconds ahead of Leopard, who's 4.2 seconds ahead of Apex, who's 4.2 seconds ahead of Joe. So it's all happening in that kind of order at the moment. But all these guys, it's no real close battle at the moment. I don't care about close battle, because I need to catch my breath. That was quite incredible what we just witnessed. Yeah,
it's been an incredible opening 16 laps. We've still got 11 to go in this incredible race. Another thing we have to mention is TRL Martin, he will be closing in on Mike Marshmallow. You would think he does have the pace to do that. And Joe, who is supposed to be nursing a wheel issue, is now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I suppose that lap time will tumble down. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Martin smashes it to bits right this very second. Across the line goes TRL Martin, and indeed he does. 1:39.174. So TRL Martin on the move. And we have to mention Mike Marshmallow in a Force India, Danny M7 in a Force India. If Martin gets there, Mike is going to make a real fist of it. He needs to help his teammate out in the championship, and of course, as we've mentioned, that all-important Constructors' title race, which is extremely close. So the drivers, they might not care about it, but it adds drama for us. And we have to talk about it. It's incredibly tight, that Constructors' battle as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's so close as well. I've been warned by Mike as well that he will get the standings done before the end of the Grand Prix. Once again, nice to have that little feature. But Martin, you're right, 4.8 seconds now is the gap between him and Mike. Mike is doing a pretty good job, actually, to keep that gap. Now, these two will be in a party. Danny and Mike will be in a party, and there is yellow flags in the 3rd sector. And that is because King has bottled it coming out the final corner. Hopefully there's nobody near him. But yeah, Mike and these two, I know these two would have been speaking about this. In a scenario like this, they always come up for a scenario. And the words on the lips of these guys will be now, Mike, hold up Martin as much as you can. We said this in Austria. I remember saying it in Austria, but he will need to do it big time in this Grand Prix, because we're getting into business end of the championship season, and he really does need to gain these points on Martin.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And Danny M7 still 4th point to ahead, but there's a little battle developing here. Ghosh is deep. He's very deep on those medium tyres, and Kay is closing in. And this little battle developing in the lower reaches at the top 10. Kay nearly does a Timo Glock coming across the start-finish line. He was way out of shape in the final corner. He was clipping the grass away on the way around there, and we've seen the Timo Glock grass there back in 2009. What can happen? You can have a heavy shunt, and thankfully he kept it on the road. But Kay then runs deep into turn 1. And Ghosh can breathe again. But a battle developing there. ILR1, who's returning. He missed out last week. He wasn't with us racing. But good to have him back. He's in 8th position at the moment, the man from Belfast. Ghosh Crab in 9th, and Kay in 10th. A lovely little battle developing there. It's the closest one on track at the moment. But the championship battle, how does it look now? Danny M7 was 33 points behind Martin. He's going to get a net gain of what? How many points is that he's gaining?
17 points.
So that closes him down to what? I'm not good at maths.
Let me just do the maths, so I'll get back to you on that.
23, 13. Ah, yeah.
20 points.
20 points, yeah, okay. Yep, there you go, 20 points. And so Danny brings himself back to within a race victory with that. TOR Leopard as well, he'll be closing in with that second place with Martin all the way down in sixth as TOR Leopard sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, trying to close that gap down to Danny M7. Now, we do believe, well, I certainly think we've got reason to believe, James, that TOR Leopard has a pace advantage on Danny M7. First of all, he was quicker in qualifying, but that doesn't count for much when it comes to the race. But not only that, Danny didn't seem to close away from, or pull away I should say, from Sir L. Hamilton the way you'd have thought with that damage to the front wing, and Leopard was climbing all over the back of Hamilton. So we've got reason to believe perhaps that Leopard should have a pace advantage and should start to eat that gap down, you would think. What do you think? Agreed?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. You're right what you say about Leopard. I mean, getting pole round here, you know, he's in pole and everything like that. It does go to show how crucial that start was, because really, if we go back to the start, Danny mugged him off badly off the line. Like the first initial getaway, Danny mugged him off. But it was actually the second phase of the start that they always go on about. He got a lot of wheel spin, like badly, and that's what cost him. And I bet he's so glad that he managed to get ahead of Hamilton when he did. And speaking of which, Hamilton, we were saying in qualifying, he needs to turn in fortunes. That luck is not coming for him, is it? P13, you couldn't be in a more unlucky position. I'm pretty sure he's gone anyway, so no more seeing of him. But yeah, it's so unfortunate for him in this Grand Prix. Morso is still right up behind the Dutchman, and Gorsch is still not too far behind him in P9 at the moment. It's all kicking off down there. Watch the gap between Leopard and Danny though. There is 9 laps to go. He does go and post the fastest lap, though I'm sure will be beaten as it is by Leopard. It's going to be nip and tuck between all these guys. It could be a really close ending to this one.
Yeah, it's taking so much time out of him as TOR Leopard. I know these guys are coming around crossing the line as the track dries, but for Leopard, look at that, 2.9 now. Don't go anywhere, folks. There might be a slight lull in the action at the moment, but this is going to be boiling come the finish. The pot is simmering. The end of the story is coming pretty soon, and with 8 laps to go, TOR Leopard is absolutely slicing and dicing that gap down. Look at it tumble, 2.7 now between him and Danny, and is Danny beginning to feel the pressure? Meanwhile, Ghost Crab in 9th, and we need to discuss that. He's off the road as I'm about to discuss him. Oh, don't want to throw any commentators' curses at you there, Ghost. But on those mediums, as he drops to around 1.8 seconds now off the back of Morso, 1.9, he was actually only a few tenths a moment ago. On those mediums, he's got an opportunity as well. When the softs start to struggle, perhaps later on in the Grand Prix, of it closing back onto the tail of Dutchman and Morso, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming back to Leopard though, he does look like a man who wants this championship. And honestly, if a man wins a championship beating these guys, he is a bloody good driver. All of these guys are quick, but if you can win a championship, I'm sure the stress and relief off your shoulders as soon as that happens is going to be incredible, just palpable really. But 2.4 seconds is the gap. 2.2 seconds is the gap. This gap is closing faster than the championship points themselves at the moment. It is so close. And Leopard smashes another fastest lap in there. Will Apex beat it? I'm not too sure. I don't think he does. But my goodness me, Leopard is going to be a man on a mission with 7 laps to go of this Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, and we've got to keep an eye on ILR Morso, the man from Belfast on the attack. Dutchman under pressure. Here comes Morso, he's diving up the inside. He can't find the way through, but it's very close. That will all allow Ghost to close back up on the group as well, and perhaps Kay, if they continue this battle. Morso knows he needs to get this move done quickly to try and scamper away from any late charge from Ghost or Kay behind. Across the start-finish line, onto yet another lap, lap 20 out of 27, as Leopard threatens to dip the gap under 2 seconds, and indeed he does, 1.9. Wow, the gap flying down. We'll go to that action in a few moments, but we need to keep an eye on this. The Mercedes of TR Dutchman and the Toro Rosso of ILR Morso doing battle as they climb up through the S's, then through the long sweeping left-hander of Dunlop. The dirtier, well, you would think affect Morso, but Dutchman was the man, way out of shape there. A lot of understeer now into the tricky Degna 1 and Degna 2. It really is, possibly, I don't know about you, James, my favourite part of any racetrack. It's just so tricky, so challenging, and so fun to drive. It's like a roller coaster, isn't it? Right up to Degna 2 from the start-finish line.
Absolutely, there's no room for error. You bottle it, you bottled it, because you will spin, you will hit the gravel trap. That's what I love about the Suzuka circuit. And a 5-second stop-go penalty for TR Apex for track extending. That could prove pivotal in this race. He will get 5 seconds added onto his time, aside any other penalties that he may have in this Grand Prix. I'm just about to check that out for you. He has only got a 5-second penalty at the moment, but Joe, that will mean we'll need to get on it, because there are points to be gained in this race at the moment. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Danny and Leopard at the front of the field. It is closing so quickly. Yeah,
it's coming right down, and that's not good news for Martin, seeing that Apex penalty flash up, because he knows that he's not going to get a realistic shot of overtaking Apex in this race. Joe, though, does, and that only adds to the fears for Martin. Trust him to have a tricky race, or I say a tricky race, an unfortunate error to occur to him when his 3 title rivals are all filling the top 3 spots. It's not happening yet, but Joe isn't far away from doing so. Will he be able to do it with what he says is a wounded wheel, as Martin now himself picks up a 3-second time penalty. You don't see that often at all, and that only makes things even worse for him. So Martin now has a penalty added, and that might let Mike Marshmallow breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Goodness me, everything just seems to be happening against Martin today, James, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and this, as you're right to say, is not a moment where you can afford to have these kind of errors, these mistakes, and we can't fault this man, because he's finished on the podium every race bar one he's competed in this season, and that was in Bahrain. This could be the second in Suzuka, and he really, and as you said, he did not like this track, does he? He said to us last week, doesn't really like this circuit. I'm sure he's going to hate it now, because this is a championship going right up in the air. Absolutely everything to play for as we head to the final 2 races of the season in Brazil and Abu Dhabi, I believe. And my God, I'm excited for those 2 races.
Yeah, there's going to be a thrilling finale to the season as we keep an eye on EVR Morso up behind the back of Dutchman, and he's still not close enough to make a move as the dry conditions take shape. He's now got the DRS open. That will allow him to close in the run down to turn 1 as the gap also closes at the front. 1.3. Pretty soon I'm going to have to come away from this battle and begin to watch that as it almost dips below a second. Still it is Danny M7 in control from Leopard in second, Apex third, Joe is in fourth, Mike Marshmallow fifth, TRL Martin in sixth, and then this battle you're watching at the moment, TR Dutchman fighting with the EVR Morso, who's looking really threatening now as they go down towards the end of that first sector into that high speed Degna 1 7th gear, then downshifting into Degna 2 into 4th, and then climbing up to the gears down towards that tricky hairpin, and once again there's no way through for EVR Morso, James.
Absolutely right there as well. I'm just keeping an eye on this battle between the top 2. I've got no disrespect for the guys in 7th and 8th who are fighting away brilliantly, but these 2 are on a mission. Another 0.4 per second faster on that lap was Leopard than Danny. Goes to show his pace at the moment. He is a man on rails, on absolute rails. He's got nothing else to... This championship, if he was going to get any points and throw it wide open, I mean, what a place to do it, because this could be incredible, really. 27 points is the gap in the championship race at the moment, but I will make sure, as you come back to me, I will find out what that gap will be between him and Martin at the top, if it stays or if it changes between the top 2.
Well, TOR Leopard trying to close in on Danny M7. It dips under a second for the first time. And now Danny M7 approaching some traffic up ahead of CRL Hamilton, I believe it would be. Or is it King? I think it's King, actually. So I would assume King will move aside without any problems. It's not... shouldn't be a problem for him to get us aside. The blue flag's well waved, but the gap now 8 tenths. It has been consistently around the 4/10 mark. As we've got a yellow in sector 1. Why is that? I'm not sure why. Oh, Langman's out of the race, so Langman's out. Not sure why. Let's have a little look. Oh, hold on a minute. Gauch and Cave are going side by side into Degna 1 there. And Gauch is actually disconnected. He's left from the session. So we've lost Langman and Gauch in the 1 goal. Will Gauch get back? If he can get back, he will collect a World Championship point, because Bastek's 18 seconds behind him. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but we need to go back to the battle for the lead as once again Leopard crosses the line and smashes another new fastest lap in, I would think. And the gap now only 4/10. If he wins it from here, despite Apex and Joe going up 7 places, I don't think we can deny Leopard driver of the day, can we, James?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've just worked out the gap. If he wins this race, 8 points, is the gap between him and Martin in the championship. Consider this though, King is the man who is the back marker ahead of Danny and Leopard. If anybody's going to help Danny's day today, it's gonna be him. He really does need to just stay where it actually moves out the way for him, doesn't he? And that's good to see. But yeah, let's keep an eye on that battle between those top two.
Yeah, incredible. Leopard closing that gap down. It was around 4, maybe even 5 seconds after the pit stops as we started this race on the intermediate tyres. It rained, it poured at the start. We then watched the track dry out, and in all the drama of the drying track, Martin left the session. His car came into the pits, uncontrolled by him as AI, put on a set of the dry tyres a little bit too early, and then he had to battle all the way through in the race. Through the cars on inters as they were struggling. He then had to pit again for another set of softs as they wouldn't have made it to the end. So Martin in an incredible drive in second. While that was happening, all sorts of chaos happened around him. CRL Hamilton disconnected from a contending position. He was in second place or third place at the time. I believe it was second. He was in with a damaged front wing clinging on. So yeah, so much has happened. The track is now dried, and ILR Leopard has shown that his pace on Saturday was no fluke as he took pole position for the second successive race. He won last time out. He's now chasing a second successive victory. He's been catching Danny M7 hand over fist as the laps tick by. It's now around 6, 7 tenths of a second as he gets into that dirty air. Is the challenge becoming just that little bit more tricky? Stay with us, folks. We've got 2.5 laps of the most breathless action of the entire season so far. And believe me, it's been some season up till now. You won't want to go anywhere. James, how good is this?
Absolutely. Doff the barrel, doff your caps, roll out the barrel, as it were. Get ready for this, because this is going to be titanic. The elbows will be getting greasy and they'll be getting out. This is going to be monumental between these two championship rivals. However you cut it, that's what they're going for here, folks. A big old prize at stake. Danny versus Leopard for the Japanese Grand Prix. 2 laps to go, and it could not be any closer. This league has thrown up some fantastic races. I can't think of a bad race that I've commentated in this tier, and this is just no exception. Absolutely stunning, and we are about to witness one of the battles of the season.
Yeah, we're filling it up. Hopefully it does bring up an interesting finale.
Hopefully.
As Kay and Morso continue their battle. I think, has Kay got ahead of Morso? He has, you know. We said that Morso needed to hurry up and get past Dutchman. He's failed to do it, and now Kay has got Morso. And now look, Morso's coming back. Look how close that is on the run into Spoon. Oh, goodness me, he nearly ran him out of road. Kay just about clinging on as the Northern Irishman drops to 9th, loses 4 points, and he might now end up with only 2. We're on the penultimate lap, and Danny still leads from ILR Leopard. Is he going to cling on for a monumental victory? The man from Teesside looks like he's going to cling on by the looks of it. Leopard's challenge is slowly starting to fade, it would seem.
Yeah, but do not rule this man out. We've seen him come from serious gaps behind, and he can really throw anything out. And he can, I want to use the phrase again, throw the spanner in the works, because he does. He comes out of nowhere. And that was one criticism I said to him in Belgium, I remember saying. It was just his aggression. Needed to calm it down a little bit. Needed to be a little bit more wise when he's going for overtakes. This is a big moment, really for his racecraft, really for his championship. They cannot afford to drop it now at any curve. Any mistake now will cost one of these two pretty much the championship. That's how big this move could be. If they stay as they are, it stays as it is, but they cannot afford to lose it, lose a wheel, lose the front wing. They can't afford to do that, and they really, really cannot afford to take each other out. There's just 6 tenths of a second between Danny and Leopard as we enter the final lap.
We've got 4 or 5 miles left to go this Grand Prix. I'm still not sure who's going to win it. Across the line to start lap 27 out of 27. You're watching from the rear of Danny M7's car as ILR Leopard in that yellow Renault continues to hunt and hunt as they go up the hill through the SE section. The dirty air will be taking its toll on ILR Leopard. He continues to battle through it and try and push himself onto the tail and slay the Pink Panther. The final lap of the Grand Prix, Danny M7 still in control. Can he handle the pressure as they go to the end of that first sector through Techno 1, into Techno 2, and look at Leopard closing right onto the back of him. He's going for it. Danny has to be cautious. He can't make an error. Into the hairpin they go, and Leopard breaks late. The gap comes down at 4/10, and are we going to see a late lunge into that final chicane? We'll find out in a few moments as they sweep up the hill and down towards the iconic spoon curve for the 27th and final time. This is massive for the World Championship. How much would TRL Martin want these two to collide? By the way, TRL Martin is only half a second behind Mike Marshmallow in this final lap. We'll go to that in a moment, but it's Danny M7 who seemingly looks like he's going to hold off the Leopard charge through 130R for the final time and up towards the chicane. The Force Indy mechanics scatter from the garage. They head towards the pit wall. They're going to greet their man. It's Danny M7 who comes across the line to brilliantly win in Suzuka. TOR Leopard is second. His late charge wasn't enough to take the victory. Apex with a stunning third, but look at Martin right on the tail of Mike Marshmallow, James.
Yeah, absolutely. He's coming through 130R now. Needs to get his elbows out. He's got a 3-second time penalty. Will he go for the move? Mike Marshmallow goes out on the brakes. He's run wide. He's not going to mean a lot for this race. But can Martin get it towards the line? I don't think he's going to have enough in the tank, is he? Just to be squeezed down by the Force India, who gets a fantastic result for P5. But what about that? That will be a sigh of relief off his shoulders. And that is absolute incandescent with rage from Martin, who's left the session. He cannot believe what has just happened in this Grand Prix.
Wow, what a race once again in ILR1. The Dutchman sees the flag 7th. Morsel gets 7th, K gets 8th as a result of penalties. Dutchman drops to 9th, and that will leave TSR Bastek to come home for a quiet 10th. And if you were just tuned in to watch Bastek cross the line in a quiet 10th, that does not sum up this Grand Prix by any stretch. What a race as Danny M7 takes the victory. He clung on by the skin of his teeth to beat TOR Leopard in second. It's a magnificent third for TR Apex, his first of the season on the podium, and that will really help his team out in the Constructors' Championship. What a race! Martin down in sixth. He will be furious with that disconnect, and it blows the World Championship wide open once again, and I'll say it once more, how must CRL Rosberg feel for deciding to back out? You know what, folks, if you're just learning or you're just new to Formula 1, never ever give up, and that's what Danny and Leopard have done. They're right back in the title hunt, and there's Danny M7 lifting the trophy aloft. He wins here at Suzuka. The champagne is sprayed, and the champagne is on ice for Martin. The title race is back on. What a race here at Suzuka. And you know what? We have got the drivers right here, right now, fresh from that fantastic race. James, anything to say?
Let's just take them through. Yeah, let's just take them through the standings of what's just happened there. So Danny, if you're completely unaware, won the race from Leopard, who finishes in a fine second place in a battle all the way to the line. Apex gets his best result of the season to finish in third. Joe came back from what was apparent wheel issues to finish fourth. Mike with a fantastic result to finish in P5. Didn't really look like it was going to come for him this race, but it did. Martin with absolute, as I said, incandescent with rage, I'm sure, in P6. More so on his comeback in P7 and started 7th and finished 7th. LK finishes in 8th. Dutchman will finish 9th. Baztek will round out the top 10. It's an unfortunate day and an unfortunate way to end it, I'm afraid, for that is King. Gorsh finishes in 12th with the disconnect, and CRL Hamilton finished, or didn't really finish, he lagged out, and that was the end of his race. But let's get over, Andy, to these podium finishers.
Well, what a race, what a result. Danny M7, we've got to start with you. You've won the Japanese Grand Prix, yet another sensational race in ILR1 Xbox. Talk us through it. How do you feel?
God. Well, I knew, this is, if I didn't win this race, then the championship was over. And then when I seen the rain in the race, I was excited because I knew I had decent pace and crossed the line in quali. And I thought, yeah, that's it. I was stuck on pole, and Leopard today and the drive was absolutely insane. And I kind of really put in the words I had I had phone call, but my phone went through the race, and then you had Gosh, Mike and Joe in the party just having a laugh. They weren't really bothered, so I have to apologise to them for being a bit aggressive, telling them to shut up all the time. And then lightning outside was just flashing into my room, and it was everything was trying to throw me off the track. And bloody hell, Leopard Renault just kept looming larger and larger, and I thought he was going to get me on the final lap, but yeah, I'm speechless, to be fair. I'm knackered.
Well, it sounds like just about everything was thrown
That's it,
your way
ragazzi.
to try and deny you the victory. I mean, I'm sure Martin will say the same thing. He will be absolutely gutted. We've got to say we feel for him what's happened, but you've got to say, Danny, that Martin disconnect and the eventual 6th place finish, you must feel as if you're right back in this championship fight now.
Definitely 100%. Even if I did win this race and Martin came second, you know, I still would have fought to the very end, because, you know, still I haven't said in the chat, Martin's got this easy with the points gap. This is Formula 1, that, you know, anything can happen, and it has. So yeah, I'm going to really give it my all for the last 2 races and go for this champ. I mean, I don't know what the next race is. Is it USA or is it Brazil?
Is it USA or
Brazil, then Abu Dhabi. I know Abu Dhabi.
Have a look.
It's Brazil,
strong
yeah,
track.
Brazil then Abu. Yes, Brazil then Abu.
Yeah, I know that's definitely a strong track for me. So if we could just keep this going, then hopefully. But yeah, I'll stop talking now. I'll stop dragging it on.
Do you feel now you have to? How do you approach it now, Danny? Do you think you've got to go for victories, or are you going to try play consistent podiums in the final 2 races, see what it takes you, or do you feel now victory is the only way I'm going to win this title? How do you read it?
I think I'm just gonna have to go for it. I think if I go to get podiums, if I get second, third, you know, Martin could be the one winning the race. Winning the race. So if there's a chance of a win, I'm gonna take it. Just like turn 1, which was crucial today, I took it, and that's where I won the race. I think at turn 1. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go all out for the last 2 races.
Okay, well, congratulations on that victory. It was a hard-fought one. You certainly had to fight all the way to the end, because incredible pace from TOR Leopard. He showed it in qualifying with that late run. It looked like Danny had the pole, but Leopard snatched it at the death. Well done in the pole, Leopard. You just came up short with the victory today, but you've got to be happy with your pace, and you've got to be happy that you're back in the championship hunt.
Yeah, to be honest, it's complete opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really to say.
Nothing to say.
Yeah, not happy.
And
Not happy.
could you shed some light on why that is?
Well, turn 1 I broke too late, and that's where the race went, pretty much. Slipstream glitch didn't help, but yeah.
So, but surely
Yeah, not happy.
there's some positives to take from it, though. You've cut the championship gap down. Surely there's something you can take from this race. You're in the championship hunt. Surely you've got to be positive in some way.
15 points to the gap between you and Martin in the championship.
Oh,
so
it's
that's
15.
got to be a bit.
Okay.
15
I thought
points.
it was
yeah.
actually a bit less. bit less, bit more,
Bit-
sorry. Bit more,
yeah,
sorry.
right.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I don't know.
Um,
It'd have been nice if
I
the
might-
gap was a bit less, but yeah.
I think it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that then,
Right.
Leopard. Clearly not.
Andy.
Awkward.
Clearly not.
Andy, should
any
I
mood to
take
talk.
us? Should I take these guys? Should I take these guys through the standings? Because I may
Yes.
have made a slight blunder.
Oh,
Well, ladies and
okay.
gents, the championship standings going into the penultimate race of this ILR1 season. Martin still leads the championship. He's still got it within his grasp. It's still his to lose. You wouldn't have taken that though coming into this race. Danny is now second in the championship, 16 points behind him. I'm afraid, Leopard, I was
16?
wrong. It's 18 points between. Yeah, I feel like this is wrong. If I'm honest, I feel like the gaps should be a bit lower than that.
Well, Martin
I could be
finished
wrong.
6th.
One for yes, that's 8 points. Oh, that's right.
That is
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because
'cause that was
Joe that was
33
closest. Yeah, it was Joe that was closest.
Yeah.
and Joe
Okay.
didn't- yeah.
Yeah, alright, that's what I was going off. Leopard is third in the championship, 18 points behind. It's not over. It's not over for any of these guys. Joe is 23 points behind. any one of the top 4 are within a race win of taking the championship. That is quite something to behold. Rosberg, oh, we don't care about Rosberg anymore. Apex is 6th in the standings. Mike is actually level on points with him. It's all level for 6th in the championship at the moment between those two. Also remains in 8th. But there is your headline, lads. Top 4 drivers are within a race victory of points. That is absolutely incredible. 2 races to go. You couldn't call this if you wanted to, but there is a man who is most definitely favourite going into those 2 races. I'm afraid it is Martin.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it does shape up in the next 2 rounds. We are, of course, heading to the Brazilian Grand Prix next. We didn't ask you, Leopard, but we'll try and ask you and try and get an answer out, you know. Brazilian Grand Prix, will that cheer you up? Is that one that you think you could have a good result at?
Again, I don't know.
Oh, come on!
I like the
Come
track.
on!
Sorry. I'm not happy, but yeah. Brazil, I guess I like it, but I'm guessing Martin will be very quick around there as well, so...
Or isn't he quick?
Yeah, Leopard, I'm a trier. I will continue and continue
I know
to
that.
get answers. But there you go. There you go. Leopard finally says something. Hopefully, we'll be a bit more positive next week, because he certainly, James, had the pace today, didn't he, to win, and probably had the pace of the field, I would have said.
I mean, I'll put it as bluntly as this. That was a champion's drive from how far behind he was, Danny, to be honest, and where he had to come back to. It was as much for Martin as well. There's loads of people in this race today that really did surprise me, and they had to put their foot down and go, no, I'm not going to let this man walk away with a championship. Top 2 did that for me today. Joe done that for me today as well, to be fair to him, because, I mean, the real issues that he had and finished 4th, that is a mega effort, and he's still within a shot of the title. I mean, Martin is going to be going away a bit sore-headed, a bit of a loss. He's going to claim this. It's a big moment in the championship, and this is, if you're looking at last season in Formula 1, this is literally the Singapore of this season. It is the turning point potentially of this season. Are we going to see a dramatic end? I certainly hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't sell it anymore. We were talking about going into this Grand Prix, the potential that Martin could win it. We were giving you the permutations at the start of the race of what Martin needs to win the championship. He can't even do that now. They couldn't even do it today, and the gap is now well within reach of the drivers to close it down even further in the fight. So they've got 4 drivers fighting for the championship. Be sure to join us next week in Brazil, where it will be yet another breathless Grand Prix, another Grand Prix that can give us rain at any moment. But we'll have to wait and see for that. Join us again next week at 7:30. It's well done to Danny. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye.
Have we asked
from
Apex?
James.
Is he in the car?
Is Apex here?
in
Is he here?
Apex couldn't join the party because of some connection issue or something.
I was gonna. Never mind. Go on, continue with the outro. Sorry.
No, you know what, Danny? Since you interrupted, you do the outro, mate. On you go. Give us the outro, mate.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm pretty sure from where you were sat was a lot more comfortable from where I was sat, but yeah, join us next week for another thrilling race. For everyone else, I hope mine's boring.
Yeah, there you go. 7:30, everyone. Next week, the Japanese Grand Prix. Join myself and James. It's well done to Danny. It's well done to a slightly downhearted Leopard. And good luck, folks.
I can talk to.
Carry on, Andy. I'll keep